Gambling, Las Vegas gambling.
TalkManRadio Fantasy Football Podcast. This is the TalkManRadio Week 2 pregame show. This week we're going to go through all the games real quick. I'll pick out some guys in each game that maybe you consider starting if you have them on your team and you're not quite confident in your actual starting lineup. Maybe reconsider. Also, I will show you my teams. You can comment, say whatever you want about them. I won one, lost one. Thank you, Kareem Hunt. Then we're going to get to the money part. I'll give you my picks. I have one pick. Every week I have one pick. I won last week. We'll see what happens this week. But you have to wait till the end to get that. I also have the old man's pick. He went 1-2, and the book went 2-1. So let's get into it. So first game is Tennessee at Jacksonville. I don't like Jacksonville. I like Tennessee in this game. It's a division game. They know each other pretty well. I think Jacksonville got a boost all of a sudden. I mean, we know they stink. That team stinks. Defense looked good. The quarterback stinks. If they have to, run the offense through the quarterback, they're going to get blown out. If they're not getting blown out already. So I like Tennessee in this game. I think Jacksonville beat up a Houston team that was kind of out of sorts. So that's why people, Jacksonville, they're so good. They still stink. So I like Tennessee. The player I would take that maybe you're not looking at would be Decker because he got a ton of targets last week. He did. He just didn't make a lot of catches. He's not on the same page as Mariota. So I like Tennessee, and I like Decker. Now we have Cleveland and Baltimore. I think you know who I'm picking. I'm taking Baltimore. I don't see this game being close. I see Baltimore probably getting on top, and then Cleveland getting in its own way, maybe Baltimore getting a defensive touchdown or something like that. I get a funny feeling they're gonna have good field position all the time. This could be an ugly one because you get a rookie quarterback going against that defense. That defense looks really good. So I like Baltimore in the game. The fantasy plays would be either of the two Baltimore running backs. If you picked up Allen or you have West, go with those guys because I get a funny feeling they're gonna get ahead, stay ahead, and then just run the clock out. Probably like starting in the third quarter. So Baltimore and either of the Baltimore running backs. Next game is Buffalo, Carolina. These are two middle-of-the-road teams, so I'll give it to Carolina because they're at home. Buffalo can run the ball pretty good. They can't throw the ball that much, but I think they might have to in this game. I think Carolina, they've got some weapons. I mean, Benjamin, when they throw him the ball, if he can learn how to catch again, he caught 1 of 5 targets last week. He could be a jump ball guy in the end zone, so he gets one of those early. McCaffrey breaks one. They pound it with Stewart. Buffalo can see themselves down in this game pretty quickly. Carolina put up a zillion points 2 years ago. That wasn't that long ago. So I like Carolina just because they're at home. The fantasy play, I would go with the unknown guy. I'm waiting for this guy to pop. We're gonna go with Zay Jones. Zay Jones, I think they might find themselves. They could find themselves down kind of early and kind of quickly in this game. So they might have to throw the ball. I'm still not sold on Jordan Matthews. And Zay Jones, I'm waiting for him to pop. So I'm going to say he's going to pop this week. Here we go. So Carolina and Zay Jones. Here's what could be a pretty good game. Philly at KC. Now, who do I like? I got to say I like KC because of what they did last week. And it's not like that was a fluke. KC's a good team. The thing that bothers me about KC, though, is no Barry. That's huge for them. Their defense could get just I don't say they could fall apart, but not having that guy there is going to show up once, twice, maybe a few times in this game if Philadelphia plays it right. Kansas City, the coaches know each other, but I think Reed is a better coach than Peterson. So, especially right now in their career. Later on, you can compare them, but right now, Reed's a better coach. So, I like Kansas City in this game. If you had to take a guy, I'm going to go with Sproles. We're going to go with Sproles. I think Philly might, they're going to have to stay competitive. They're going to have to score points. And I think that Peters on Jeffrey is going to be tough for him to get off. Torrey Smith may get a bomb, but I think you're going to start seeing a little more of Sproles running around, especially in those slot areas. I think you're going to start seeing more of that. And he caught some balls last year. He's going to catch more this year. Maybe see him in the backfield a little bit. And maybe he breaks one. So I like Sproles as the kind of sleeper. And got to go with KC. Okay, we have New England at New Orleans. They both lost last week. I don't like New Orleans secondary. Tom Brady's pissed. He's bringing in his new toy, who would love nothing better than to get 11 catches, 214 yards, and a couple touchdowns on him. God, I would love that too. But I think New Orleans is going to be ready for that. I don't think he's going to have the crazy game. So I like New England, and the deep guy I would take in fantasy would be Chris Hogan. I think he's going to be more of the beneficiary. I think they're going to be put 19 guys on Cooks to make sure he doesn't explode, and which means that Chris Hogan will maybe not explode, but maybe I'll say 2 touchdowns. That's my prediction. 2 touchdowns for Chris Hogan. So there you go. New England, Chris Hogan. Here we go. Some game of the week, guys. Here, Arizona at Indy. Indy stinks. If they had luck in there, they'd be competitive. They don't have luck in there. They have Jacoby Brissett in there. Jacoby Brissett played for New England last year. He lost that one game in there when Tom Brady wasn't there. He played the last game after Garoppolo got hurt. He ran for a bunch of yards, not very good. And now he's the starter for the whole game for Indy. I don't see much coming out of this. I see them getting killed. So I like Arizona this game, obviously. I think Brissett's going to start bombing it late, probably middle too, and maybe even early. And I think the recipient of that's going to be Dante Moncrief because just the sheer number of throws they're going to have to make. They're going to have to use his arm so much that I think that's how that's going to work out. And I think he's going to be the beneficiary. Not saying that everything they throw to him he's going to catch, but I think they're going to throw to him so much. And not that they're not going to throw to Hilton, but I think Patrick Peterson's on him, so I don't see him getting much done. So the pick is Arizona. The guy I like would be Moncrief. Next game is Minnesota at Pittsburgh. I'm going to call this my first upset. I'm going to take Minnesota. I think their defense is good enough to hang with the Pittsburgh offense overall. I think their cover corners will make it hard for them to just go up and down the field, and I think they can get some stops. I also think Minnesota's going to try and run the ball, keep the offense off the field, and I think they're going to run it with Dalvin Cook, who I'm going to call as my play of the week in this game, my sleeper, if you will. He's not really a sleeper, but I'm going to go Dalvin Cook, and I'm going to go with Minnesota getting the win on the road. And back-to-back, you can call this my second upset. Chicago at Tampa Bay. I'm going to go with Chicago. They played tough last week, and they have a defense. Their defense isn't shit. Their defense is okay. They have an edge rusher. Their linebackers are meh. And their secondary isn't bad. They've got some players back there. You're going to hear a lot more about Chicago's defense this year. And they have the running game, especially with that new kid now. You got the little gadget kid in there, Cohen, and you have the regular guy, Howard. So, now I know Tampa Bay has weapons all over the place, but I'm going to go with the Houston bet I made from last week it wasn't really a bet, it was my suicide pick that didn't pop up because I think after all this stuff happens with the hurricane, it's crazy and your mind's not on football yet. I think you need to play a football game first to get your mind on football. And I think this is the game where they kind of lay an egg a little bit. My player would be, I don't want to say Jordan Howard, but I think it is going to be him. So let's go a little deeper. Let's go with Kendall Wright. How about that? I think maybe he makes some plays. Forget about Kevin White. That guy's gone. I think is he out for the year? I think he's out for the freaking year. That guy stinks. He's always stunk and he's always hurt. So my player, Kendall Wright. Don't sleep on Jordan Howard though. And Chicago, second upset in a row. Next game, we're going to stick with the hurricane theme here and go with Miami at the Chargers. This is where I think the Chargers get a win. Same reason as Tampa Bay, same reasoning. Miami's coming off the whole week of all the hurricane stuff going on. Their mind's not on football. It's not their fault. It's not they don't have talent. Plus, I'm not a big Jay Cutler fan anyway. But I think the Chargers are going to have a decent game, and they're going to beat up on Miami. My player would be, I'm going to go with Devontae Parker. Because I think once they fall, maybe late in the game they make a surge, and I think they go deep, and that guy can go deep. So, Devontae Parker, but the Chargers win. And here's a good game for you. Jets at Oakland. Ugh, Oakland. I'm taking Oakland. Who am I going to take in this game if I needed a fantasy option? A deep fantasy option? That's tough. I don't want to go with Crabtree or Cooper. Maybe. How about that kicker, Giorgio? Throw the kicker in there, Giorgio. I think maybe they start beating up on this team, and then, all right, we don't need to score so many touchdowns this late. This team can't move the ball past their own 30. So maybe they start kicking. I think maybe he has another big game. First fantasy kicker I'm going with. Ever, actually. We're going to go with Giorgio, and Oakland wins this game. Next game, Washington at the Rams. I don't think the Rams are really that good. I just don't. They beat up on a hapless team without a quarterback, trying to run around in circles. They didn't know what they were doing, and they just got smoked. So I don't like the Rams this week. I like Washington, and I think they're going to be led by Jamison Crowder. I don't think. Now I know Crowder's probably, if you have him, you're probably starting him. If not a third wide receiver, a flex probably. If he's not, then you must have very good wide receivers. But I think he leads the team this week because Cousins and Pryor don't seem to be on the same page yet. I kind of like Cousins. I think he's okay, and I think he's going to go with Crowder. So we're going to go with Washington for the win, and Crowder getting a lot of targets and catches and yards and all that good stuff. Ooh, here we go. Num, num, num. Tasty game here. Dallas at Denver. I like Denver in this game. Short answer, I like it because they're at home in the Denver air. Long answer, I think their defense is pretty good and they can slow down Dallas. I understand that it's the pass defense that they have that's their strength, and Dallas's offensive strength is their running game. But I think Denver is gonna hold on to win this game. My player would be C.J. Anderson. I think he's going to be a big part of that because they're going to try and run the ball themselves to keep Dallas off the field with them running the ball all the time. Because Dallas, the same game every week. They get up on you, and then they start running, and they get up on you, and they make a couple plays, and next thing you know, the game's over. You had the ball for 16 seconds. So I like Denver in this game. I think they're going to come through, and I like C.J. Anderson as the pick. And we have 3 hours of torture for you set at 4 o'clock tomorrow. San Fran at Seattle. I'm taking Seattle. I think San Fran might come out and play tough in the beginning, maybe even take a little bit of a lead, maybe like a 7-3 lead or something like that. But I think it just becomes like the foot on the face, just pushing down. Seattle wins it, probably going away. I don't know about the 14 points. It went from 12.5 to 14. That shows you the respect and confidence they have in San Fran, but that's a lot of points. I think San Fran sticks in it a little bit in the beginning and then just loses the game. I'll take Seattle. The player I'd go with, I'm going to go with the kid Carson. I think they're going to try and get him some run. They're trying to figure out who the running back is. I think it's going to probably end up being maybe Rawls, maybe Carson, maybe Precise. I don't like Lacey. So I think they're going to try Carson this week because I don't know who to pick this week. You don't know what's going on in that Seattle backfield. Flip a coin a couple times and it ends up Carson. There you go. Carson, Seattle. So the Sunday night game's a good one. Green Bay at Atlanta. I like Atlanta. I like that they're opening up that spaceship/stadium tomorrow. I think the place is going to be going nuts. And we'll see how the sound travels in that place, see if they can get Green Bay to go off sides or anything like that. But I like Atlanta because of that, because they're a good team. I think they want to show Green Bay, hey, we beat you last year, we're going to beat you again. And they beat the shit out of them last year. So I like Atlanta. Deep sleeper or whatever pick. How about Gabriel? Gabriel from Atlanta. I'll go with that. Atlanta and Gabriel. He's going to be the deep sleeper or whatever you want to call it pick. So there you go. Okay, now we got Monday night. It's Detroit going to the Giants. I like the Giants. I don't like Stafford on the road. I'm not a big fan of Stafford to begin with, but I definitely don't like him on the road. I definitely don't like him outside. I definitely don't like him going against that defense. The offense, I don't know what's going on with Beckham. They have him as questionable. I don't even know if he plays. But I think the Giants are still going to hang on and win. Their running game stinks. So I think they're going to throw the ball. I think they're going to get Marshall involved a little bit more. But the player, I think, the deep sleeper, whatever you want to call it, player, I'm going to go with Shepard because I think he's going to start getting in there. He had a couple catches. He started go. Manny was going to him early last week, but that kind of tapered off, and they stunk the joint out anyway last week. So I think New York bounces back, gets the win. Detroit comes in, they lose, and Shepard's the guy. Okay, we got through all the real teams. Let's look at the fantasy teams. This is my first team. I got 2 rookie running backs in there now. Would have much rather had Kareem Hunt and David Johnson, but that's not going to happen until much later in the season, I don't think. Cooks, hope he has a good game. Cobb, we'll see. Cobb and Ryan playing in the same game. That's going to be the last of the points I'm going to be able to score, so I hope I put up a lot. Diggs, should have had him last week. If I would have started Hunt or Diggs, I would have destroyed these guys. And we'll see what happens with Miami on the defense, with the Chargers, and Gostkowski. In terms of him, he's got Jordy Nelson. I got to outscore. Hopefully, I can outscore him with Ryan and Cobb. I really hope so. Michael Thomas is not too scared of him at New England. I think, he could have a big game. New England looked like crap last week, but I think they're going to start to get it together. Ty Montgomery, I'm worried about him. I really am, because I think I'm going against him in both leagues. We'll see in a second, but I'm a little worried about him. Dalvin Cook at Pittsburgh. We'll see. I think they're going to run him a lot. This could be tough, but I have faith. I think I'm going to win. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Let's go to the next team. And here's the second team. I'm sticking with Newton to Benjamin again because I feel like I'm playing with house money a little bit. I got through that game last week because of Kareem Hunt. So I'm going to stick with it. I think maybe we can get a little jump ball in the end zone. We'll take that. Jordan Howard with the Q next to him. Not a big fan of the Q, but I still think he's going to have a good game. I think that Q is bullshit. Kareem Hunt, we know what Kareem Hunt is. I hope he gets me 50 points this week. Tyler Eifert, he stays in one more week if we win this week because of changing the offensive coordinator. Mike Evans, I finally get my first-round pick in there. Let's see what he can do. A little jump ball action again. I got a lot of jump ball guys here. Got a basketball team on my fantasy football team. Will Lutz, kick some field goals. Baltimore defense versus Cleveland. That's huge. That could be big for me. That could be my second or third leading scorer right there. On the other side, though, we have Seattle against San Fran, which could offset that. We'll see. Mariota, he's starting. He could be good. He could have a big game. T.Y. Hilton, he doesn't have anybody to throw to him. I don't think he's going to have a huge game. He could catch a bomb, though. You never know. Beckham, I don't even know if he's going to play. They have that Q next to his name. He got that injury like 4 weeks ago. I think it's like a 6 to 8 week injury. What's he doing, considering going out there and playing? I understand he's a gamer and all that crap, but, dude, you could get smashed and you could be out the rest of the season. Get back to 100%. Stop being whatever. Ty Montgomery is going to have 125 yards, 5 catches, another probably 36 yards in there, probably a couple touchdowns since I'm going against him in both leagues. He'll do double as well. Jay Ajayi, I never liked Jay Ajayi. Even last year, he had all his yards in like 3 games. Zach Ertz, good game last week at Kansas City. If they had Barry in there, I'd feel a little more comfortable, but we'll see what Zach Ertz does. He'll probably outdo 7.2 by Eifert. Deshaun Jackson, he can get a bomb. Hausker's the kicker. I like my team anyway. So leave comments below what you think of either team and my chances. What would you do in my situation? And that's about it for the 2 teams. So let me know. All right, we're going to get into everyone's favorite part of the show. We're going to talk about some degenerate gambling. Yay!
Fucking degenerate, you.
First, we're going to talk about our suicide picks. Last week we had Houston. That stunk. This week we're going with the chalk. We're going to take Oakland. Oakland this week. Jets stink. They're going to Oakland. They got to fly across this country and then go there, get beat up, and fly back. So we're going to take Oakland this week. Now, let's go into our experts, and we're going to see who they picked. The old man's best bet of the week is Minnesota +6. Washington +2.5 is their second best bet. And Arizona -7 is the third best bet. That is the only favorite on the board from all 3 of us. Now let's get into the book. The book likes as their number one bet this week is New Orleans. New Orleans plus 6. Their second best bet is Jacksonville plus 1.5. And their third pick is Denver. Denver plus 2.5. I actually agree with the book with my pick, just like last week, and that was one of his winners. He went 2-1. The old man went 1-2, and TalkMan went 1-0, of course. So TalkMan's pick for the week is, I wish I had a little drum roll here. I don't, but I can get one. Anyway, the pick is Denver plus 2.5. That's a TalkMan pick this week. So there's a suicide pick, there's the experts pick, and there's TalkMan's pick, and that's it for the Degenerate Gambling part of our show. That is the TalkMan Radio Week 2 pregame show. Thank you for listening. The postgame show will be Wednesday, and the pregame for Week 3 will be next Saturday. So Wednesday, Saturday, that's the schedule now. So thank you for listening. Comment link below, like and subscribe. All that crazy internet shit. You'll hear it again in a couple of seconds.
Hey, thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow TalkMan Radio on Facebook and Twitter, and kill that like button and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget, everyone's team sucks but mine.